Oh, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel producer on Phase 4's Diversity. This is the world we live in. Straight from the get-go, let's discuss diversity, inclusion, things like that. Is it good to have inclusion? Absolutely. Is it good to have forced representation? No, it's not. That doesn't benefit anyone, does not benefit the discussion by any stretch of the imagination. It's simply race-swapping characters, gender-swapping characters, and including fishmen for the sake of having some inclusion is pathetic. It doesn't help anyone. It does not further the discussion by any stretch of the means, and it is only detrimental to the argument that we must have this stuff moving forwards. Why? Because normally it's a sacrifice to the narrative at play, which actually makes for a worse product further down the line. So, I found this article to be quite interesting. Most of all just because it really does show the sorry state of the world we live in, I guess. Let's get into it, right? Marvel Studios exec Trinh Tran talks inclusion, behind the scenes, and diversifying the MCU. This is what Marvel is going to be now, moving forwards. Unless something massive happens, which I find it so surprising. This is the route that Marvel Comics went. What's happened to Marvel Comics? 10 guesses. Downhill. Going downhill. Why would the movie division copy the same trajectory? Whatever. Trinh Tran is among the few people on Earth with more power over the Marvel Universe than Thanos. This is on Inverse, by the way. They actually spoke to Trinh Tran directly. A development executive at Marvel Studios, Tran spent the last 4 years working behind the scenes of 2018's Avengers Infinity War and its sequel, 2019's Avengers Endgame, two gargantuan movies, what a great word, that have combined gross of $4.8 billion at the global box office. Tran didn't work alone. Along with Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige, Marvel EVP of Production Victoria Alonso, directors Joe and Anthony Russo, and screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Important to note there was another woman, wasn't there? Victoria Alonso, right? So just remember that. That's who she worked alongside with, as stated already. And many more. You can say she's part of the Avengers of Hollywood, a group of remarkable people who pulled off an incredible feat no one else could. I'm sure people could. But like the Avengers, Tran has speciality to offer a different perspective, she tells Inverse. Of course she can! An immigrant who came to the US from Saigon, Vietnam, as a child with her family, Tran says her perspective as a woman of colour, so we're not only playing the female card, but we're playing the race card as well, is how she offers new insight into the movie-making process. I am well aware that different people's experience through life can absolutely offer them a different perspective. But the moment you start throwing gender and race card out there, you've kind of lost me. You've kind of lost me. Because that's not really a unique outlook. You know? How many coloured women are there in the world? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. It's not a unique experience. If you were to tell me, because you're a woman from Vietnam, then I would say, you've got a point. Then I would say, yes, I'm going to perk my ears up, and your experience may offer a different perspective. But as a woman of colour, no, that's not a unique perspective. Because to be unique is to be a minority. Not really a minority in the grand scheme of things these days, is it? Into process, offering her ideas maybe... Offering ideas her colleagues couldn't imagine. Wow, way to blow smoke up your ass. The Russos, Marcus and McFeely, they're like family to me, she says. I've worked with them on the last 4 projects together, but sometimes in the room, I'm the only female sitting there. Well, where's your mate Victoria Alonso? What? You've just said you've been working alongside Victoria Alonso. Where's your mate? I think we're telling porkies. I think we are telling porkies. But sometimes in the room, I'm the only female sitting there, and I think there's a different perspective coming from where I am. I might think of something that doesn't dawn on them. Maybe that's just because you're a little bit, you think a bit differently to them. I don't think that's got anything to do with the colour of your skin or the fact that you've got different genitals between your legs. Same as loads of white dudes don't think the same. Same as loads of black dudes don't think the same. It's amazing this, isn't it? Doesn't actually have to be down to race or gender. Miracle. In a phone conversation as part of the Blu-ray and DVD release for Avengers Endgame, Trin Tran spoke to Inverse about the importance of diversity in Marvel's Phase 4, as well as some of the fun insight into one of the biggest movies of all time. Of course! It's got to be diversity, right? Let's crack on over here, shall we? Why would you do this? Why would you have your thing all over the place? Look at this. What an awful layout. God, it's going to flip-flop, isn't it? Your format for your website sucks. Absolutely sucks. You and your fellow producers are like the Avengers behind the scenes. What do you feel you brought to the table that your colleagues did not? I love that you mentioned we're the Avengers. Of course you do. We should have a poster of us posing. Of course you should. I spent 4 years on Infinity War and Endgame. We shot back to back. To work with the Russo brothers and Marcus and McFeely were family. We work so well, I'll blurt out something crazy and they'll look at me, but that will start a conversation and veer off into a different direction that maybe none of them thought. Coming from where I am, it's just a different perspective to the room. Marvel's new movies in Phase 4 announced at Comic-Con can be best described as diverse. Got to get that buzzword out there, haven't we? What excites you about Phase 4's visibility of women and superheroes of colour, and what makes it important for Marvel? Female representation, the diversity of it all. Is that it? Straight to the females. Of course. It's very important because this is the world we live in. There's so many people, so many different people out there, and in order for us to relate to them, we have to make movies that are different. We can't always be about one race or gender. They've never been about one race or gender, though. There's been black people and females in all of the movies. Every single one. And in fact, that probably better serves representation as it was. They definitely could have had more female-led movies out there. Like the Black Widow movie's been a crying shame that it's not been released before. But it baffles me when people bang on about representation. But if you're truly looking at representation for representation's sake, right? And you're going, right, let's actually represent the world we live in, then there wouldn't be that many people out there that are of this certain race or gender or sexuality, whatever. Because, lo and behold, there's not that many out there. That's why you keep crying out for representation, is it not? Because you're the minority? Are we same sort of argument? What's going on? And like I said, I get it. I'm looking forward to Black Widow movie getting her own movie next year. Shang-Chi getting his due. This is the first step to more diverse characters and franchises. I am hoping for more down the line. We have so many characters in the Marvel Universe, it's a matter of picking which ones make sense to the MCU. In thinking about the future of the MCU and how all those characters are going to connect, diversity is crucial in our future. In thinking about the future of the MCU and how all of those characters are going to connect, diversity is crucial? Surely the story is crucial. Isn't it? My dog's just sighed. Yeah, yeah. My God. The story is the crucial element there, ladies and gentlemen, not diversity. Diversity is not the web in which you cast a story into. That's not how that works. I think we're heading towards the right direction. 10 years ago when we started making these movies, you probably don't see much of that. I mean, Rhodey was in Iron Man. A black guy. Front and centre. He was there. Are we missing this stuff? Are we just blindsiding it all? Were you part of... And also, like... no. Were you part of the decision to cast Simu Lee as Shang-Chi, what made Simu Shang-Chi in the eyes of Marvel? I'm not involved. It's funny, we did the announcement. I'm so surprised that she didn't go, what, is it because I'm from Vietnam? Is it... She didn't play the race card. I had so many people texting me, are you involved in Shang-Chi? I would have loved to. But unfortunately, as that started developing, I was still on Endgame. So timing-wise, it didn't work out. I wasn't a part of that decision. Oh my god. We're over here. God damn, this format sucks. Worst format ever for a video. Look, honestly, it just basically just continues, right? It just continues. And it's just all about this diversity nonsense and representation nonsense, all for diversity's sake and representation's sake. Of course it is. And like I said, there's nothing actually inherently wrong with any level of diversity. It only becomes an issue when it's at the behest of the actual movie itself, you know, when you don't get a good movie as a result of it. So, yeah, I mean, what's it like to make more money than Avatar? Cha-ching is probably what that is. Why are you asking that? Oh, that doesn't look like a very diverse cast now, does it? Oh, best get some people of colour in there. God damn. Right, there's nothing else really to go into on this. It's all just a circle jerk of leftist crap, I guess. And again, there's nothing actually inherently wrong with what some of the left say. There's some things wrong with what the left say. There's some things wrong with what the right say. Like I said at the start of this, there's nothing actually wrong with diversity and representation, but absolutely there is when it's when it becomes the focal point of telling a narrative. The narrative should come first. Like the fact that they say, you know, very, very specifically, where was it? Down here. The MCU and how all those characters are going to connect is crucial in our future. Diversity is crucial in our future. That's bad. There you go. I've got nothing else really to say on this. What did you think? What did you think? Let me know your thoughts down below. Because we know now anyway we're getting Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's going to be all discussing Black Captain America and stuff like this, which sounds like trash. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe. If you haven't already seen it, I actually have done an It Chapter 2 review. Some of you guys definitely don't have your notifications turned on. I released that the day the movie came out. I'll leave it linked over here. Please do go and check it out. Full review, non-spoilers and spoilers. It's all there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.